Hi, my munchkins, my God-edians, how are you doing today? I know this is different to what we usually do on a Sunday morning, but I'm trying to be with you because we can't be together. So like we do on a Sunday morning, we are going to light a candle in order to bring Jesus into the space. But as you can see, I've got 2 candles today. And one candle we're going to light to bring Jesus into our space. And if you've got a parent with you and there is a candle in the home and they will allow you to light a candle, I want you to light it with me. The second candle we're going to light today is we're going to light a candle for anybody who is sick at the moment. So if we've got anybody who we know has got flu or the coronavirus or who've got other illnesses, we're going to remember them today and we're going to light that candle. So have an adult present to help you, please. You don't just light candles without them. And I've got a special lighting machine that my husband has. It's his.
Yeah, okay.
So like I'm in your home with you, you're in mine today. So there are a bit of funny noises around. I'm sorry, my angel pies. Okay, so we're going to light the candle. And so with this one, we like to remember that Jesus is always with us and the light of Christ is with us. And we're going to light the second candle for anybody who is sick. Okay. So what I want you to do now is we're going to start by centering ourselves. And how we're going to do that is I want you to sit nicely, and I want you to put your hands in your lap, and I want you to close your eyes. Are you sure they're closed? Because I can't see you, so I'm going to trust that you're closing your eyes, and I want you to relax your body. So take a deep breath in and out. I want you to listen very carefully to everything around you. I want you to hear what is around you. So right now, I can hear the cars outside. I can hear some birds. I can hear my husband. I can hear Lucy. Can you hear the wind? I want you to see if you can hear if God is around you. Can you feel God? Where is God right now? And then I slowly want you to breathe in and breathe out. And breathe in. And breathe out. And one more time, breathe in and breathe out. Now open your eyes and look at me. So I want to ask you a question. And I know that I can't hear you, but I want you to answer anyway. Have you ever been sick? I've been sick. I know that my husband's been sick. My friends have been sick. And then I wanted to ask the next question. Did you make yourself sick? Or did you just get sick? You see, during Jesus' time, many people believed that if somebody was sick, it was because they had done something wrong in secret. Which is a bit scary because if we get sick from corona, or if we get a cold, or if we get a fever, or if we get tonsillitis or earache, and somebody were to blame us for it, it would be pretty silly, wouldn't it? But in Jesus' time, that's what would happen. They would say, it's because you haven't done something or you have done something, and that's why you're sick. So anybody who was suffering from something, if they had an illness or a disability, they would always say that it was because they had done something really, really, really bad. And so today's lesson is all about that. It's all about how we as humans get sick, and it's not really because we've done anything wrong. So I want you to sit nicely, get comfortable, Have you got a nice cushion behind you? Because I'm going to read you a Bible story. Okay, are we ready? Are your ears open? If they're not, can you open them quickly, please? Jesus heals a man born blind. As Jesus was walking along, he saw a man who had been blind from birth. "Teacher," his disciples asked him, "why was this man born blind? Was it a result of his own sin or those of his parents?" "It was not because of his sin or his parents' sin," Jesus said. "He was born blind so that the power of God could be seen in him." All of us must quickly carry out the tasks assigned to us by the one who sent me, because there is little time left before the night falls and all work comes to an end. But while I am still here in the world, I am the light of the world. Then he spit on the ground, made mud with saliva, and smoothed the mud over the blind man's eyes. He told him, "Go and wash in the pool of Siloam." So the man went and washed and came back seeing. His neighbors and others who knew him as a blind beggar asked each other, "Is this the same man, that beggar?" Some said he was, and others said, "No, but he surely looks like him." And the beggar kept saying, "I am the same man." They asked, "Who healed you? What happened?" He told them, "The man they called Jesus made mud and smoothed it over my eyes and told me to go to the pool of Siloam and wash off the mud. I went and washed, and now I can see." "Where is he now?" they asked. "I don't know," he replied. Then they took the man to the Pharisees. Do you remember what a Pharisee is? A Pharisee is a religious leader. Now, as it happened, Jesus had healed the man on the Sabbath. The Pharisees asked the man all about it. So he told them, "He smoothed mud over my eyes, and when it was washed away, I could see." Some of the Pharisees said, "This Jesus is not from God. He is working on the Sabbath." Others said, "But how could an ordinary sinner do such miracle signs?" So there was a deep diversion of opinion among them. Then the Pharisee once again questioned the man who had been blind and demanded, "This man who opened your eyes, who did he say he was?" The man replied, "I think he must be a prophet." The Jewish leaders wouldn't believe he had been blind, so they called his parents. They asked them, "Is this your son? Was he born blind? If so, how can he see?" His parents replied, "We know this is our son, and that he was born blind. But we don't know how he can see or who healed him." "He is old enough to speak for himself," asked him. They said this because they were afraid of the Jewish leaders, who had announced that anyone saying Jesus was Messiah would be expelled from the synagogue. That's why they said, "He is old enough to speak for himself. Ask him." So for the second time, they called in the man who had been blind and told him, "Give glory to God by telling the truth, because we know Jesus is a sinner." "I don't know whether he is a sinner," the man replied. "But I know this, I was blind and now I can see." "But what did he do?" they asked. "How did he heal you?" "Look," the man explained. "I told you once. Don't you listen? Why do you want to hear it again? Do you want to become his disciple too?" Then they cursed him and said, You are his disciple, but we are disciples of Moses. We know God spoke to Moses, but as for this man, we don't know anything about him." "Why, that's very strange," the man replied. "He healed my eyes, and yet you don't know anything about him? Well, God doesn't listen to sinners, but he is ready to hear those who worship him and do his will." Never since the world began has anyone been able to open the eyes of someone born blind. If this man were not from God, he couldn't do it. "You were born in sin," they answered. "Are you trying to teach us?" And they threw him out the synagogue. When Jesus had heard what had happened, he found the man and said, "Do you believe in the Son of Man?" The man answered, "Who is he, sir, because I would like to?" "You have seen him," Jesus said, "and he is speaking to you." "Yes, Lord," the man said, "I believe." And he worshipped Jesus. Then Jesus told him, "I have come to judge the world. I have come to give sight to the blind and to show those who think they see that they are blind." The Pharisees who were standing there heard him and asked, "Are you saying we are blind?" "If you were blind, you wouldn't be guilty," Jesus replied. "But you remain guilty because you claim you can see." So that was a really long story, but it's a very important story because Jesus was trying to teach them that there's more to life than just what they see. There is more to love than there is just what they see. And there is more to compassion than there is what people see. So I'm going to ask you some questions so I can see whether or not you've been listening to my story. What did the disciples ask Jesus about the blind man? They asked who had sinned to cause the man's blindness. And do you remember what Jesus said to that? Jesus said that no one had sinned, but that this blindness was being used in order to glorify and show people about God. Do you remember how Jesus healed the blind man? He healed the blind man by spitting on some mud and covering the man's eyes in it. And the man had to go to a pool to go and wash it off. And why do you think the Pharisees said Jesus was so wrong? There were a couple of reasons. For one, they'd never seen anybody heal somebody from blindness from birth. And two, he had done it on the Sabbath. And what did Jesus ask the man at the end? He asked, "Do you believe in the Son of Man?" So, with your parents, I want you to have a bit of a discussion. I want you to tell your parents what you think you learned in the story. And it could be anything from how we're supposed to be compassionate and caring and not to blame people for things, how we can show people love during a hard time, and that when we understand compassion, and we understand that Jesus is around us wherever we are, our eyes are open. It also doesn't matter what we look at, like what's wrong with us, what's right with us. We are all made in the image of God. And we are all made in the love of God. We are all made to show kindness and compassion to the world around us. And those are what's important. How we care and we love one another. So I hope you can do that. I hope you can show some love and compassion to people around you, and especially to your families who are trying to do well in this time. So we're going to say a prayer. So if you can close your eyes, put your hands together, however you feel comfortable speaking to God. And I'm going to pray this prayer. Let us pray. Dear Jesus, thank you for this day. Thank you that we can come together as a family and learn about your healing the blind man. Please help us follow and continue to love in our world today. Lord, that we ask that you heal your people and heal our land, that we may see your glory. We love you lots and lots. Amen. Right, so what we're going to do now is I need you to go and ask your mum or your dad or a caregiver or a granny or a grandpa or an older brother or sister for a scarf. Do not just go and take it. Please ask permission first. As you can see, I have one here. And we are going to make blindfolds. So, I've got a very long scarf. So I want you to fold it over and over again and over again so that you can cover your eyes and you can't see. Get somebody to help you because you can't see. That's the point. Okay, so we see how this is going to work. Don't cover your eyes just yet because you need to get a few other things. The next thing I want you to do is I want you to please go and find a piece of paper and some crayons. Go. I'm going to give you 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, so what I want you to do now that you've got your blindfold, and we've made our blindfolds, I want you to tie the blindfold around your eyes so you can't see. Are they on? No cheating. Make sure that they're on. I need to be able to read now, so I'm going to read what I want you to do. Once they're on and you have a crayon or a pencil or a Koki in your hand, maybe not a Koki, let's keep it to pens and pencils and crayons instead. On your piece of paper, because you can't see, that's the point, I want you to please draw me a sun in the top right-hand corner. Then I want you to draw some grass at the bottom of the page. Then I want you to draw a house in the center of the page. Now I want you to put a chimney on that house. Then I want you to draw me 5 flowers in the grass. And to draw 3 clouds in the sky. And then to draw me 4 birds in the sky. Once you are done, take off your blindfold and see if you've got the picture right. In fact, if you could get your parents to take a picture of it and send it to me and to put it in our comment section below, that would be fantastic so I can see what you've done. Now, was that hard or was that easy? Did you get it right? The point of the exercise is to understand that sometimes people have these things that are wrong with them and we need to be compassionate. And we need to love them. And we need to have empathy. We need to put our feet in their shoes so we can see how other people behave and live. And so that we can be kind. Because above all, kindness is the most important thing you can do for somebody else. So I hope that you had fun today with me. I hope that you're being kind and loving to the people around you. And I will see you next week. Same time for the next lesson. I love you all. I hope that you stay safe and stay healthy. And I miss your faces. And I can't wait to see you.